What is up, you guys? It's Nikita, aka the Airbnb RN, and we're back with part 2 of the series of what people frequently ask in regards to Airbnb. So these are the top questions, okay? So I got my phone. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be looking down at my notes because y'all know I got a scatterbrain. But the second top question would be, how do I start Airbnb with no money? Okay, a lot of people say this, but just to keep it a buck with you, you can technically start Airbnb without money, but you need some sort of money to start and formulate the business. So let me break this down a little bit further. When you're thinking about starting your Airbnb, you're not doing anything in your personal name, depending on the communities, but we're not going to get deep into that. We're just going to say you're not doing anything in your personal name. So this means now that you have to make a business. Making a business means that you have to go through different processes in order to formulate that business. So these things include your LLC, like what's your business name, your business EIN number, which is like your business social security number, your Duns and Bradstreet number. Then you want to continue to go down a professional route. Get maybe a landing page as a website. Get your business bank account set up, okay? Get your virtual address. All of these things cost a little money to start. Now, and depending on what state you're in, that those fees can vary, but that's some money right there. So that's why I like to say that with a grain of salt, because you do have to put money into the business to start it. Now, once you have your business formulated, and then also once you start getting like some net 30s accounts, we're just gonna, for time purposes, say a net 30 account is like layaway. You get the products for free on the front end, but in 30 days, you want to have that amount paid back. So the company is sending your business whatever you order, and then you're paying it back in a timely fashion, and then it's reporting to your business credit, and then that starts to build your business credit up. So now once you've gotten your business credit built to a good standing, that it shows people that you're credible, it's not a baby anymore. Maybe it's like a teenager now. You got some accounts reporting to it. Now you can apply for some business credit. So that's what technically makes you able to get an Airbnb using none of your money, because you can use the bank's money to do everything that you need to do for your Airbnb. But initially, to start the business, there are going to be some small fees. So that's that. So you're starting your Airbnb with no money using business credit. So you're doing depending on if you're doing an apartment, a single family, whatever, you're doing the application fee, the deposit, you're doing all the things, the furniture, everything with business credit. That's what makes it none of your money, okay? But let's dial back here too. So a lot of people think that, and because this is what I used to think when I first had the thought of wanting to start an Airbnb, I'm like, I'm staying in Airbnbs. It's a small property. I'm like, this is something that I can do. But in my head, I always thought that I had to own the property in order to be able to do that. And we know ownership comes with more money. So I'm like, oh my God, how much money am I going to have to save up in order to get a property? So we're thinking of an investment property, possibly 20% down, plus the furniture, plus maybe a deposit, last month's rent, all the things. And I'm just like, this is a lot of money. And at this time, mind you, I didn't know anything about business credit. But I'm sure this is what other people are thinking about when they think about ownership and being in ownership and renting the property as an Airbnb. But you don't have to start there. So when the light bulb went off in my head was at the point that I stayed in an Airbnb and it was an apartment. So that apartment, essentially the host didn't own the whole community. They just was subleasing, renting and re-renting. That's what we would call Airbnb arbitrage. That means you don't own the property, you're renting it under the agreement of either the property manager or the owner, that they're aware and they're okay with what you're doing. So now what did that do for me when I stayed at that apartment Airbnb? That let me know that I can start this thing at a much smaller scale, requiring less money. Because my first Airbnb, I did it with my money out of pocket, because like I said, I didn't know anything about business credit. So I knew what I wanted to do, saved the money and did it. Okay. So now, if you had that limiting belief in your head that, okay, I got to save up a whole bunch of money in order to purchase a property, we've just killed two birds with one stone. You don't have to save up a whole bunch of money because you can build your business and then you can get business credit that will do all the things. Two, you don't have to own the property to start. You can simply start by renting, and then you can get your cash flow up, save, and then at some point, if you want to go into ownership, you can. But I know a lot of people that don't go into ownership, they just continue to rent and they get more and more doors. So it's going to be dependent on what your goals for yourself are. That runs into how much money do you need to start then? To start the Airbnb. So whether this is your personal money or you're using your business credit. And then this is going to be dependent. This is going to be dependent on your market, and this is going to be dependent on what type of property you're getting. So property meaning you can start with an apartment. That's what I did. I was trying to do the least, like what was the cheapest and what could I start with to get my feet in the door immediately. So it was apartments for me, and I did a small one bedroom, so it wasn't that much. My first one cost me around a little over $5,000 to get it up and running and all the things. Now, if you want something bigger, if you want a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or if you even want to do a single family home, now that price goes up. So if you're doing the business credit route, I wouldn't, let's target those heavy hitters, those Chases, those Navy Federals, those US banks, those Amex, to get those bigger amounts. So whatever you're trying to do, you're not stunted in your growth with what you can get. Oh, they only gave me this amount, so now I got to get a studio. Like, build a business credit, educate yourself on which one you want to use, make sure it's a 0% interest credit card and that you have a plan to pay it back, and then get what you want. Start where you want to start. You don't have to start at the smallest one like I did. Sometimes bigger properties, they make a little bit more profit, but it's a higher cost starting off. So where $5,000 to start off a 1-bedroom apartment, as opposed to a single family home that's 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Now you got to get multiples of everything. Okay. Also, I started with an apartment because pest control, lawn care, all of that was wrapped in one. So in my head, I was like, because I know it's so many other that I still have to learn, so let me do this. Now, as I've grown, now I have a house that I own that I Airbnb. Now I'm more comfortable with more on my plate because I got the down. Okay. I got the bound. So you can do the same thing I did. Take this journey. I hope this answered some of you guys' questions in reference to how you can start with no money. I love to be transparent with you. I love to share my mistakes that I made, and I just shared one with you guys. I didn't say it was a mistake, but this definitely was a mistake. When you get that 0% interest card, make sure you have a plan to pay it back, because once that interest kicks in, it's going to be that much harder to pay it back. So make a plan. Don't have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them. I hope this video helps somebody. I hope this video encourages somebody that start, because I am no more special than you are. And if I can do it, so can you. You guys can follow me at the Airbnb RN on IG, as well as TikTok, and also Nikita Dupree on Facebook. But IG is where I post all the time. If you want more information on how to start your first Airbnb property, that will be linked down in the show notes below. And like I said, if you have any questions, drop them below. I would love to answer them. Peace out until next time.